for apple, apple, apple. A for apple, A for ant, ant, ant. A for ant, A for alligator, alligator, alligator. B for bananas, bananas, bananas. B for balloon, balloon, balloon. B for balloon. B for board, board, board. B for board. C for cat, cat, cat. C for cat. C for cake, cake, cake. C for cake. C for car, car, car. C for car. D for doll, doll, doll. D for doll. D for duck, duck, duck. D for duck. D for dolphin, dolphin, dolphin. D for dolphin. E for egg, egg, egg. E for egg. E for envelope, envelope, envelope. E for envelope. E for elephant, elephant, elephant. E for elephant. F for fish, fish, fish. F for frog, frog, frog. F for frog. F for fox, fox, fox. F for fox. G for grapes, grapes, grapes. G for grapes. G for goat, goat, goat. G for goat. G for gift, gift, gift. H for head, head, head. H for house, house, house. H for house. H for horse, horse, horse. H for horse. I for ink, ink, ink. I for ink. I for insect, insect, insect. I for insect. I for igloo, igloo, igloo. I for igloo. J for jar, jar, jar. J for jar. J for jacket, jacket, jacket. J for jacket. J for joker, joker, joker. J for joker. K for key, key, key. K for key. K for kitten, kitten, kitten. K for kitten. A for king, king, king. K for king. L for lollipop, lollipop, lollipop. L for lollipop. L for lamb, lamb, lamb. L for lamb. L for lion, lion, lion. L for lion. M for milk, milk, milk. M for milk. M for mat, mat, mat. M for mat. nest. N for net. Net, net. N for night. Night, night. N for night. O for orange. 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 O for orange. O for octopus. 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 O for octopus. O for ox. Ox. O for ox. P for parrot. 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 P for parrot. P for pumpkin. 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 P for pumpkin. P for penguins. 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 Penguin. Q for coil. 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 Q for coil. Q for toilet. 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 Q for toilet. Q for queen. 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 R for rocket. 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 R for rocket. R for ring. 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 R for ring. R for rabbit. 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 R for rabbit. S for sun. 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 S for sun. S for strawberry. Strawberries. Strawberries. S for snake. 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 S for snake. T for turtle. Turtle. T for turtle. T for tree. 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 T for tree. T for tiger. 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 T for tiger. U for umbrella. 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 U for up. 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 U for up. U for umpire. U for umpire. U for umpire. V for vegetables. 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 V for vulture. V for vulture. Vulture. V for vulture. V for van. 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 V for van. W for watermelon. 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 W for window. 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 W for window. W for whale. 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 W for whale. X for xylophone. 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 X for X-ray. X-ray. X for X-ray. X for Xmas-tree. X for Xmas-tree. X for Xmas-tree. Y for yogurt. Y for yogurt. Y for yogurt. Y for yarn. Y for yarn. Y for yarn. Y for yarn. Y for yak. Y for yak. Y for yak. Yak. Z for zip. Zip. Z for zip. Z for zip. Z for zebra. 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 Z for zebra. Z for zoo. Zoo.